Hi everyone, welcome to Maximum Attack Rallying. I am finally in the UK again. It's been a long time. It's freezing cold. You find me in a barn. This is quite a weird, surreal moment. So if you follow me, you will know a few months ago, I bought a car blind on eBay. And today, for the first time, it's here. I get to see it. It's behind me. There it is. Seeing the car for the first time. And it's surprisingly good. I'll do a little walk around in a moment so you can see some of the details, but there it is behind me, and it is in surprisingly good shape. There is not too much rust. There's a little bit of rust, but not too much for a 90s Ford. And here we go. It's the first time I've set eyes on this car. It's, oh, we're losing control of the camera. There we go. It doesn't actually look too bad at a glance. There is no power at all. Not even a dash light. So Dan, my friend, who is here with me, is getting another battery to see if we can coax some life into it. Then I will have another proper look round and see how many holes there are in it. Dan's here with the battery. Battery. Do you think it'll go? Is the battery good?
It's been on charge for 3 days.
Okay. Looks like a pretty good battery. I do like the rat poison under the bonnet. I didn't. Let's see, will it make a noise, do you think, when you connect the battery? I wonder if anything will click. This is the first time you've been in one of my videos. Congratulations. Didn't make a sound, did it? Do you want to do the honours?
Okay.
See if any dash lights come on before we go too mad. Just going to move. Yeah? We're just going to move some of the rat poison. Go on, try it. Oh. Was that it?
Yeah.
That didn't try and do anything, did it? Do you think... Oh. Okay, that's... That's gone well. I mean, the starter tried to turn a little bit,
Yeah.
but I think we've just not got enough juice, have we? So, you will have to excuse the lack of light. It's a little bit dark in here. I'm doing my best. The lights are on, but it's January, so obviously it's dark anyway. So here it is, in resplendent kind of pinky purple flurry red is the official colour. It's covered in dust and some bird poop. But under the dust and bird poop, it's actually in good condition. So it very much looks like this car was owned by an old person. It's still got its original 13-inch wheels with white hubcaps. As I said in the previous video, it's an equip, so it's a very weird spec. So equips were available in... The pigs are really distracting me, I'm so sorry. I don't know if the mic is picking it up, but the pig noises are unreal. There is some kind of pig feeding frenzy / orgy going on. Anyway, Escort equips. So they were a kind of special edition towards the end of Mark V Escort production, all based on the four-door saloon. They came in a few different colours, silver, Pacifica blue, some kind of green, Cayman blue, and this flurry red. These colours were generally reserved for higher spec models. But, as I said, 13-inch wheels down there, which is weird. Then inside, it's very dark. You'll have to forgive me. I don't know if you can see. It's got wind-up windows. It is super dark in here. The seat trim is basically the same as a Gear would have had, but it's got twin airbags. There's central locking. There's no cigarette lighter, no rev counter. It's just very bizarre. I'll try and get some better footage of the inside. But generally, it's pretty good. Just looking up, you can see the material from the sunroof cover is hanging down. All four-door Escorts have a sunroof because they were supposed to be a bit more upmarket than the 3 and 5 doors, so they all came with a sunroof. But it's in generally really, really good condition. The wheel arches, there is no rust showing on the faces of the quarter panels at all. There is a little bit on the lips, and the sills are a little bit crusty in places. But generally, it's in really, really good shape. I think once the car is cleaned up, it will look surprisingly good. Engine bay, You can see there's some rat poison dotted around just to stop the mice. It's a 1.6 litre, 16 valve Z-Tech, 90 horsepower or something, so very, very slow in reality. 83,000 miles. You can see though, it looks in pretty good shape. There's a few new parts. There's a new coolant temperature sensor on there. Unfortunately, we just couldn't get it to run. Battery is completely goosed. We can get dash lights, but the starter just clicks and clicks and clicks, even with a second battery on there. But, you know, it's all there, as it would have been in 94 when the car was registered. So, kind of is what it is. There's not too much to say. It's a pretty basic old car. I know a lot of you are thinking, why on earth would anyone buy one of these? But for me, it's just lots and lots of nostalgia. And speaking of that, I'll do a little edit with me back at home a few days later while I'll explain the nostalgia, and then maybe you'll get some idea of why I bought the stupid thing. Okay, if you haven't watched the video that I made about this car a few months ago, you might be wondering why I have bought an example of the Ford Escort that everyone loves to hate, the Mark V, which was roundly criticised when it was launched back in 1990, and the simple word is nostalgia. I have a lot of nostalgia for this this car and this era of cars. My first car was a Mark V Escort Equip, very similar to this one, albeit in Pacifica Blue instead of Flurry Red, and it had a 1.4 litre engine instead of a 1.6 litre engine. So there's nostalgia in this car for me, and I always liked this generation of Escort. Obviously there's the link to the Escort Cosworth and to the F2 rally cars, but I also come from a modified car background. You know, in the 2000s, the early 2000s, when I was learning to drive, when I was really starting to get into cars, the Ford tuning scene was big. You know, everyone was putting RS turbo engines and Cosworth engines into everything. People were starting to turbocharge Z-Tech engines, and there was a lot of buzz around going fast and making lots of power and tuning up these cars for top speed runs and quarter miles and all that sort of thing. So I really like this era of Fords, and the Mark V just always appealed to me. I think it looks quite good when it's modified, and it's just a car that I have a big affinity with, as it was my first car. So because of that, it's just something that's always stuck with me, and that desire to kind of build one in that style of those sort of 2000s cars, where there was a lot of, like I say, lots of engine tuning and lots of performance orientated modifications and a certain kind of style as well. So that is kind of where it comes from. Back in those days, you know, I had a few modified Escorts after this, after that first blue example. I had a couple more Equips, and I always fancied doing one with a turbocharged engine, a few RS bits attached to it, some nice wheels and all that stuff, and it just never quite came off. So when this car came up a few months ago, the nostalgia bug bit hard, and I couldn't resist hitting that buy button on eBay, even though I hadn't seen the car and I was buying it from a different country. So that is a very quick explainer of the reasons why, and that leaves only one question, doesn't it? What do we do next? So you'll have to excuse me here, we're going to slip into voice-over mode. The audio on the last parts of the video wasn't very good, so I'm just going to slip some clips of it in here so you can get another look at all the various little bits and pieces on the car. And we'll just talk about it. We'll talk through the plans. So the major thing I would like to do is ideally is to have this car on the road in the summer. So if you're in the UK, you will know that to do that, it will need to pass an MOT, which is its annual inspection. For those of you who are not in the UK and don't know what that means. So basically that's just a quick safety inspection, make sure that there is nothing majorly wrong with the car and that it's not pumping out loads of horrible noxious gases. Hopefully that won't require too much work. I would love to be able to drive around this car in the summer a little bit while I'm in the UK and just have some fun with it. Looking beyond that, obviously the plan is to try and create the car that I always wanted to create when I was younger. With a modern twist. Obviously, things have changed a bit since then, so I'm not gonna try and recreate something from 20 years ago, but I just want to capture that, but also update it a bit to reflect how things have changed and how I've changed, of course. So I'm not going to go into too much detail at this stage, but there will be some bits from other cars to upgrade it a bit. The great thing about Fords from this era, from the 80s and into the 90s, was there was so much interchangeability. You could fit parts from other models, so obviously you can fit body parts from RS models just to lift the exterior a little bit, interior parts from other models to lift the interior a bit, and we certainly need to do that because it's got wind-up windows and things, so obviously it'll need electric windows and stuff like that just to make it a bit more pleasant to drive around in. And then there's the mechanical stuff, which is the real secret to success with Fords from this time. So you can switch brakes from other cars and engine parts from other cars and hopefully create something quite interesting without going too crazy in spending terms. Sadly, saying that parts for these cars have got quite a lot more expensive since I last had one, which is a bit of a shame, but we'll just have to work around that. In terms of the engine, I'm not going to say too much about that. Obviously, I would love to swap the engine out at some stage, but I'm not going to commit too much to that. I do have some ideas in mind, but the main thing is get it on the road so I can enjoy it. And in the theme of putting plans into motion, we do already have the first parts to make the car better. I'm very, very excited for this. What is the first thing you should do to any car when you modify it? And that is change the wheels. So once again, I reached out to Speedline UK, who have been extremely helpful, and they supplied a lovely set of 2120 Torinis, this time in anthracite. So if you have watched my video about the Peugeot 208 Daily that I have here in Saudi, you will know that it has white 2120s on it. So I love those wheels, and I knew immediately that I wanted them on this car as well. So I've gone for anthracite finish this time. Cannot wait to get those fitted to the car. Obviously there's going to be some suspension changes to stop it looking like a moon buggy, and then we'll hopefully get into other things as well. But enough about that for now. Let's leave this video there, and hopefully we will have another update relatively soon with getting the car something towards an MOT and into running again. So I'm going to leave you hanging there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You can be as horrible as you want. I don't mind. I'm not building this car for the internet. I'm building it for me. As always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, follow me over on socials, and I will see you again next time.